Thank you very much, Rob. I endorse those comments wholeheartedly, and especially those relating to Alistair, of course, who can't be with us. I would say, in addition to that, though, that it's my great privilege to work with the entire board of the Institute, a group of committed volunteers. You wouldn't know they're volunteers given how hard they work, and that goes for the entire board, and many of whom are here today. I think, though, that you can possibly understand it, but Alistair's not the only one who, over the last 10 to 15 years, has delivered the Institute that you see today, and that I'll talk a little bit about in a few moments. There's a smaller group of board members who have done some enormous heavy lifting, two of whom are in the audience today, Rob Milne and Ross Cook. And really that little trio with Alistair did an enormous amount through some good times and through some very challenging times. And they stood fast, and certainly in the period with which I've overlapped with them, it's been an almost unbelievable experience to see their level of commitment, expertise and passion for this institute. And we now have a cadre of board members who have been there for, in most cases, less length of time, who are taking up the reins. And it is a great privilege. I know I speak for Mike and myself as the executive directors who do sit on the board to join that team. Also great to be here at a meeting not of the board but of members. And this structure that a not-for-profit organisation like us has. Thank you very much to you, the members, for your involvement and interest. It is a very significant role. The AGM is your meeting, and I hope it's taken in as serious a light as it really needs to be. We, of course, are an independent company, not-for-profit company, limited by guarantee, and we need a governance structure that is appropriate and has teeth, has accountability, and this, as represented by this AGM, and the launching of the report that I'm about to do really reflects that. And you know, one of the perhaps tedious sides of it is that we have to have the formalities, but they're very important governance issues behind those formalities. So I thank the members, and I thank everybody for coming along today, our staff and our students, our friends and stakeholders and donors, especially the state government as represented by Phil Davies here today. Welcome to everybody. I will keep it very, very brief, and really just to highlight this report and what's behind it that we launched today. It is a reflection, this report, of the technical nature of this institute as a company. It's actually a financial report. We are obliged by law to have it and to have it audited appropriately, and welcome to our KPMG auditors, as echoing Rob's comments, being very grateful for their long-standing involvement with this institute. And we take it very seriously. I take very seriously, not just for this institute, but the independent institute model more generally for Australia. It's where 20 to 30% of all medical research in this country is done in a structure like this. And I think it's a very valuable component of the medical research sector. The only component of the government-funded sector that is focused and accountable in the way that this institute is, and our sister institutes are. A board with a focus around a health mission. All our board cares about is how we are progressing toward that mission, and of course whether we're doing that within our financial limits. There aren't any other distractions, and this is a model that really does work throughout the nation and means that independent institutes, of which there's 40 or so throughout the country, really do excel, especially translationally, especially in research that gets converted into something useful to people, whether it be a product or a policy change, or advanced at least from its more basic discovery point. It is a sector of the, a component of the medical research sector that needs to be acknowledged and celebrated, and that's really what today, to a degree, represents what it means to be an independent medical research institute. I would like to just draw your attention to a few highlights. As I say, there is some financial information in here, and also some just snippets on what was achieved last year. We work on the calendar year, so this is a report up until the end of December last year. And, you know, there are many highlights. The Institute spent, earned and spent $42 million last year. And that's a really significant amount of money to be spent totally on our mission, which is to improve the health of poor and vulnerable communities, whether they be here in Australia or throughout the world. It's a major undertaking, and it's a major contribution to people who need help. So that's a significant number. We, you know, the financial side of things, as Rob has said, went well from a cash perspective, from an operations perspective. We made $1 million or so surplus, and in fact we budgeted for around $1 million deficit last year. So it was an incredible performance on behalf of all staff and students to reach that point, and especially to the fundraising team, who did a brilliant job. So from a financial point of view, just over the last 3 years, things have improved a bit. Our cash position is a bit better. We're very, like all medical research institutes, perhaps bar one in the country, we're a skinny operation, but we are in a more solid position than we've been for a few years, and we need to be, and I'll come back to why that is, why that's so important in a moment.